are live. Hello everyone, welcome to tonight's episode of DoGsCast. We are on episode 65. As always, we're going to be taking a few moments to send out links, let people know that we are live, inform social media, and get ready for tonight's session. We're going to be taking about 10 minutes or so to make sure we got all of our ducks in a row, so sit back, relax. We do have a bit of a content warning for tonight's episode, but we'll get to that once people start strolling in. Thank you for joining us, and we'll be getting going in about 10 minutes here. Thank you. How's everyone doing? I gotta do some tweeting. Making sure we're pulling up the stream.
Okay, there we go.
Are you good?
I'm just getting cozy.
Alright. Do you want me to inform the Discord?
Yeah.
Are you good?
Yes.
Discord. A bit.
Oh, you know what I saw? I went to the college campus for D&D.
College campus?
The college campus.
The one in which that I attend?
Yes.
Okay.
The one with the dorms. I play D&D there on Saturdays. And there was a bug.
A bug?
A big bug. But for some reason, it's like, you know, like you see a big bug. I thought it was like a big ass beetle at first. No, it was one of those like giant biting water bugs.
Nice.
Like they're specifically known for being like foot biters and toe biters with an extremely painful bite.
Oh.
Oh, Jer, I took a picture. I feel like you'd want to see.
I do want to see.
I know you like bugs. Wherever I don't know where I put my phone.
Can't believe it's a DoGsCast Monday. Hello, named. Hello, Nick. How are you guys? Thank you for joining us.
Wait, I don't know where I put my phone. I might disappear for 5 minutes.
That's okay.
Where
What am I doing? Yeah. How are you guys? Can you hear us okay? Can you hear the music okay? Let us know how you're doing. Let us know if you can hear us.
I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna call my phone real quick. I'll be right back.
Okie dokie. Wisto, yep, there he is. With his new little mark on his head. Things are good? That's good. I like to hear it. I gotta this Boo-boo.
Oh,
What?
ready for what brawl is ahead? Well, the brawl for this week is emotional trauma.
I will say that the brawl was last week. But you're
This is, as one might say, the aftermath.
Yeah, this is kind of the aftermath of the brawl. This episode is building on what happened last week. I don't know if you're entirely caught up. So if you want to lurk or mute, feel free. But some things happened last week, and we have to address them tonight. And move on.
Found it.
Move forward. I have a mini heart attack every time I get a Discord ping because I'm waiting on a message from a friend. It is sad hours on DoGsCast. It is, but
Sorry, named. I have to spam message you now.
It's sad and sentimental hours.
Yes.
It's sad and sentimental hours, which means I need to get all of my sillies out now.
Yeah, get your sillies out now.
I will say that in prepping for tonight, I have been crying for the last 3 days.
Where's Bug? Here's Big Bug. Next to a flip-flop, because there was a collection of white girls screaming about it. As white girls typically do when they see a big bug.
That doesn't, yeah.
Well, because, like, they always scream about it and then one of them will take off their flip-flop and try to poke it. Be it a bug or a dead fish.
Weird.
I've
Oh,
seen it
bug.
multiple times.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. It was just in the middle of campus,
I don't
right
like
in front
that.
of the dorms.
I don't like that.
I've seen a stag beetle. I saw a stag beetle over the summer. Like,
I wish it was a beetle. I love beetles.
it's a
It's one of
big
the-
water bug.
It's one of the big water bugs that bite your toes and it really hurts.
Yikes.
I've never been bit, but I've heard stories.
Don't like that.
That's why I sent it to the DMs. It's not to subject people to bug.
Oh, I subject Jasper to it anyway.
I did not
I
want to.
heard.
I did not want to see it. Don't like that at all. Not a fan.
I would hold it gentle.
All right. Is there
It
any
might
other?
bite you.
If it
They're
bites me,
known.
that's on me.
That's your fault.
That's my fault.
Is there any other places we need to inform? Any links we need to send? Or
My mom?
is your mom watching?
No.
Okay.
My mom read what I wrote, though.
Okay. Still nice.
I have something fun. Your birth month determines what fire Pokemon you are. I see this tweet at least 3 times a month, but always different.
Yeah.
So everyone say birthday month if they're comfortable with sharing.
January.
Oblivion.
January Fuecoco.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
May.
May is Ninetales.
Oh, so true.
Jer.
I burped. July.
Arcanine.
I wonder
April.
what month. I was just gonna say, I wonder what
Yeah.
month Tyler's is.
What month Tyler's
Yeah.
born?
It wasn't like it was yesterday.
April was Chandelure. March is Ho-Oh. I'm winning. June is Scorbunny.
I think named is
I
what.
think named is winning, actually.
Oh, you're right. Named is Yo Girthday.
Yo, birthday.
Yo Girthday. That shit was wild.
Yeah.
Just thinking back to all that. Hot Boy Pants arc was feral.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, yeah.
I can't believe I catfished y'all for so long.
You
And
did.
for what?
For nothing.
For nothing.
For nothing.
We beat that. We beat Lance on the night of pool sauce pizza.
Oh my god, we did.
Oh god, pool sauce pizza.
Ah.
I forgot about pool sauce pizza. And I couldn't
And
look.
the horrible spin-off, the ball pit stream. We never got the chance to do lake sauce pizza because we couldn't make it to the cottage.
Yeah.
I
It's
know
okay.
a few lakes.
We gotta do ocean sauce pizza this year then.
For Beowulf.
For Beowulf.
Bet. We didn't get to go to the beach last year. I want to go to the beach this year. I'll do beach sauce pizza. Listen, that's salt water. That's just salty pizza.
Oh god. Alright. Do we kind of want to get into it here? It's almost 10 on the dot. Do we want to kind of get into it?
Yeah.
Before we start, if you have not seen last week's episode, I encourage you to lurk. Last week's episode was a big one, and this is the direct follow-up to that episode. And this episode will feature emotional intensity, so make sure you're taking care of yourselves, doing whatever you need to do to take care of yourselves, and stepping away if you need to. We want to make sure you guys are safe and well-informed, but this will be a heavier episode as well. It won't be maybe as drastic as last week was, but it's definitely a big one. So, if you haven't seen last week, and you don't know what happened last week, I encourage you to lurk.
Our dear friend Gym Leader Jade is playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Nick.
There is currently 5 days and 16 hours worth of DoGsCast content.
That's so funny. So if you're ever bored for
Feels like a
5
threat.
days and 16 hours...
Is it just me, or does that feel like a threat?
It does.
Alright, so, lurk if you need to. We're following up on last week. Let's introduce ourselves.
Oh, I told Hachi that I would do my intro in a very specific way this morning.
Yeah?
Yeah, let me
This is
find
the
it.
morning? Oh, you mean you promised?
Yeah.
I'm leaving. Goodbye, everybody.
Hello, it's me, JairBear776 of Chaos Crypt, and you're watching DoGsCast. My pronouns are they, them.
So true. Hello, everyone. My name is Jasper. I'm using he, him pronouns, and tonight I'm playing Callisto Polaris.
I am Lynn, or Sleepy, or whatever hey you want to call me. My pronouns are they, them, and I'll have a joke. I just have shit to promote.
Hi. My name is Lucio. My pronouns are he, they, and I'll be playing Torleth.
Hi, I'm Tyler. My pronouns are he, him, and tonight, as has been customary for the past few sessions, I'll be continuing to play Scrungus. Nothing new on this front, no funnies tonight, just enjoy the session.
Just vibes.
Just vibes.
Alright, so this is where Lynn is going to recap us. Like we said, if you haven't seen last week and don't care about spoilers, feel free to keep watching, but if you do, I suggest lurking now. Lynn, do you want to give us a brief recap of last week?
So, last week is another one of those episodes that is just better if you watch it.
Yeah.
It is very heavy. It was the final part of the Solar Children trial, the Solar Child trial, and essentially the group was given an ultimatum. One where most of the group, all who were not Solar Children, had stepped away, and that was only one will survive. There was an ensuing fight, and in the heat of battle, Ganymede fell. And we are now dealing with the ramifications of that after Callisto has escaped, has defeated the other Solar Elders, has been marked as one of them, and as one of the sons of Velstrana has disappeared. We're now holding a funeral for those we've lost, and yeah, it's a serious one. My recaps used to be funny.
Thank you, Lynn. Dreg, I just want to let you know, do not skip the second Halloween special. You need that episode, huh?
What was the second one?
That was the circus.
The circus.
Oh.
You know, one of the most important episodes.
I highly recommend you do not skip that episode.
Okay, to be fair, when Dreg said second Halloween special, I thought meaning the last Halloween, the one that just went by.
No, we did not do a Halloween special.
I was trying to remember what episode that was.
No, we did the Halloween special in Avon, and then we did the circus episode.
Yeah, but what was the one we did right by Halloween?
We've only been doing this for a year. We haven't hit Halloween 2 yet, have we?
Yes, we have.
Oh, then what do we do?
I don't think we did any other holiday specials.
We didn't do a holiday special, but I'm trying to figure out what the episode was.
October? It had to have been it was like Vance's introduction around then.
I should remember this, because it was...
I think Vance had been introduced.
I brought Scott home that day.
What day was this? December 1st was Van.
Oh, really?
Yeah. November 20th.
No, I'm thinking his introduction.
Yeah. Was it? No. Might have been on break. I think we were on break.
Oh yeah, cause Scott.
Oh.
I
Yeah,
don't
we
know.
didn't do it. We took like a 2-week break.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
We
I
had
remember.
Taylon's funeral, Vance, introduction,
And then the
Praxis's
praxis. Yeah.
episode, and then we took a break.
Right. You're right. All right. Sorry for that. Either way, watch the second Halloween episode. You need it.
Yeah.
Very important one. Shall we start session?
Okay. At the end of last session, we left off with our party leaving from the Temple of Razan and headed to Adahal to leave. Mathandi's ship was docked somewhere to the east, and Praxis will be meeting the party at Leshta. The ride to Leshta is not silent, but it's not lively. After having just dealt with a heavy loss following what happened a year ago, spirits aren't as powerful as they should be. But, nevertheless, approach the City of Crystal. I'll bring it up on stream. Oh. I would like to go there too. Bathed in the light of the midday of the now singular sun, City of Crystal stands tall, unshaken, though its sister city, or sister island, lay in ruins. Latakai, what remains of Latakai after what happened with Godslayer. Open wound in the memory for Gem. The city, an open wound, Listo, Genevieve. As you round the city, you see through the opening, through the cracks, floating islands of sapphire and hematite with trees of crystal, flowing waters up and down, defying gravity. See life. This is Velstrana's utopia. Doesn't even know what it lost. Rapture pulls you into a gentle port. There is a couple young sailors who usher you in, nameless. Though they treat you like you belong. People in Leshta smile and nod at you, not even thinking much of it, as you head your way down to the burial chamber with the bodies of Ganymede and Anatole in tow. Pathway down, winding and narrow, opening up to a large chamber. This chamber is mixed with wolfrite, amethyst, sapphire, diamond, and emerald. They all swirl together in a beautiful mosaic. Though the beauty of the moment is soured by the context of the loss. There seems to be no place to bury the bodies, but for those familiar with Leshta's ritual, you know that once you lay the bodies down, the island itself will pull them in. The crystal absorbs them and embraces them. They become part of the island themselves. They continue the cycle of life. Rapture nods to Gem, Callisto, and pushes forth the bodies towards the middle of the room, with everyone in tow. Now, I don't know if you want me to go first, or I don't know what you want, but this is for you two. For you. And all of us here. Whoever would wish to speak first, come forward.
Callisto's been relatively quiet. He's been pretty composed, actually. But at this moment, he nudges Genevieve. I'm sure you have something to say. Do you? Hello? I guess she doesn't. Hold on.
Lynn, are you... Oh, Mike.
Hello? It was
Hello.
Mike. I didn't know it got messed up. Sorry.
Yeah, Callisto nudges Genevieve. I'm sure you have something to say, don't you?
As you nudge her, for the first time in over a year, her skin cracks when you touch it. And she steps forward. And she looks down at the body of Ganymede. It's almost like she isn't even registering Anatole. It's definitely sad that they're gone, but she sighs. And she talks, not even sure if she's talking to everyone else at first. You know, I had always dreamt of returning here. It's kind of funny. Now I dread being here with every part of myself. It's more beautiful than I remember, but it pales in comparison to her. Enemy was light in its purest form. A burning sun that brought not the dawn, hope. She uplifted those around her, kept them safe in her warmth, and now that she's gone, the world's gone darker and colder. When she fell, she took the sun with her. I'm sure, in a way, it was her final act of kindness in her eyes. To take a part of her away so that she couldn't outshine us, because all she ever wanted the people around her to shine brightly, to smile with the hope she gave them. But now it's just a reminder of how she's gone. She was always my hope. Even in my darkest moments, the 5 long years I spent alone, I held on to the thought of her. And like a knight in shining armor, she came to my rescue. But I guess fairy tales aren't real. And I'm still holding on to this hope. It's a gift she left for me. She gave to me. She's been helping me walk for so long. And I think I finally need to run. A cabin. Wooden cabin on a hill. That was our dream. Where to be safe. Away from all of the dangers that had controlled our lives. And so I'm going to run. I'll run with you all. And when the time comes, I'm going to run to that cabin. Not just for me, but for her. And even though she's gone, she'll be with me there. And if this will all be said and done, and all the children can find their way home, a home that they choose. I'm sorry if talked long. She carefully steps away from the body. She looks like she just wants to fall upon it, hold her again, to kiss her, but it's not Ganymede anymore. Not to her. She takes a step back.
Lucio gives her a nod but doesn't touch her again, doesn't try to reach out. Gives her a nod. He looks over at everyone else to make sure that anyone that wants to can get their piece in, because he worries that if he goes now that he'll lose all of his composure. He wants to make sure that everyone else gets their words in before he goes up to speak. So if anyone else would like to speak, feel free.
Grungus steps up, not really saying much in this instant, but he moves forward, kneels before the bodies, and utters a small, silent prayer. He's getting a little bit better with it. It's fairly audible, but he gives off a respective prayer to Valdos, turns to Rapture, Gem, and Callisto, gives a firm nod, and returns back to his position.
Anyone else? Alright. Callisto's gonna take a step forward. Everyone. He's been pretty composed this entire time. He hasn't said much of anything. He gets up there, looks everyone over, starts his speech. Not long ago, I asked a venomous question. Who's next? Who will be the next to fall lifeless in someone else's hands? I asked someone I thought I'd never see again. It seems I keep thinking I'll never see certain people again, with the question, who's next, never far from my mind. But it's never right. I scan the possibilities of who's next, and not once have I ever been right. Most of the time, I think it's going to be me. Maybe I even hope sometimes it will be. Just to save someone else, and bend the afterlife in the living's favor. I think I'm next every time, and it never is. But rather, everyone else, every single other person, I hope to Palazane it won't be. Everyone that had a song to sing. He deals their hands too soon, and with them, piece of me goes. I am chopped and grated to dust with every person fleeting from me, from this precious time we have together, from Velstrana until we meet again. Even in life, every strained cord, every hand I ever held or never held, every tomorrow I never spent, a piece of me keeps getting taken and taken until I am hollow and no semblance of me is left. Ganymede was bathed in sunlight. She was the sun's contained, glaring and authentic, unapologetic in her radiance. She took after Jupiter, our ancestor, with his robes and elusive tricks, and she spat in the faces of our parents. They're not far from here. Their daughter dead and their son torn to shreds, and they have no fucking idea. They're thinking of starting their brand new family. They're rooting through those children's rooms and wondering where it all came from and how long they've been planning. They don't remember the man clad in armor and deceit that took their kids from them. Their worthless daughter and their minuscule son. Their worthless children that will be reborn again. Just as worthless as before. 20-some-odd years reduced to white noise. Worthless. Can you imagine? She was the only family I ever had. And Blaze took her blood like wine and may be living onward beyond here. His ghost may be torturous, and I may just have to pity the fool, for even his hands do not stain our conditions as much as the ones who purchased her for sport and conquest, and the claws that gave her over to him. Her face is painted the same as mine in reverse, but I am nothing like she was. She never lost her sense of adventure, and she transformed into more of a leader than anyone I have had the fortune or misfortune of knowing. She was ripped from us, and with her goes all of that love and light she harbored unlike any other. That family she could have built when I cannot, the legacy she never got to see. The affection she could give when I can no longer love, the hands she could take when I can no longer touch, the eyes she could confine in when I can no longer trust. All of her brilliant sense of self and resilience, her courage and her brazen authority and determination when I have completely forgotten myself. Her wavering consciousness and her puppeteered mouth. It is a permanent reminder of this day with us at all times. It's imprinted between my eyes. I now carry it on my hips constantly. My only defense is nothing but those moments in full display, in living color, over and over and over and over, and the sky tinged and washed with her loss. The one sun going down without its twin every fucking dusk. The bloody silent roses with red and explosive fires written in gold and orange before the blue bleeds to black. The ugly head of dusk and the bitter ascent of the envious moon. I made a friend for the first time in those labyrinth walls. Anatole, sculpted like me. No family. I saved his life from those ravenous fires, and in turn, they saved mine. They were cheated. All of them were. Played like pawns. Blind to the root dealt to them by their puppet masters. No clarity. Simply guided to the grave. If one person must instruct strangers to jump off a cliff, then of course the living must perpetuate that for the rest of their lives, right? Not for me. I will see them again, and I will light our afterlife on fire, even if I am not the one who is next. And with any luck, I will ensure the one who is next comes at the end of a long, full life. But like life, I cannot guarantee that promise. I can only engulf the dull stars and flames for you to find your way to me. I will see them again. I am a man with no home, no parents, no twin, and no family. I have nothing but the people in this room. And I do have the pulse of life. And I have a permanent reminder of everything I've lost to fuel me from one room to the next. A bitter rock-salt wound that never closes, but keeps the blood flowing. I embrace that tomorrow. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow, the days walk into my embrace and suffocate. The only thing I can cling to is the sunrise's promise. And even without its twin, I know Ganymede harbors the one sun on her shoulders and catapults those holy fires through the sky like slow arrows until it's restful dusk. She is above us all, lying in wait for the spark so that she can light the heavens up with gold once more. He doesn't waver. He stands and takes each face that he sees in, nods them all over, looks at the bodies behind him. He does the symbol that he learned from Rapture. You are equal in life as you are in death, as above and so below. He goes back over to stand with his friends, the only people that he has left. He has nothing else to say.
Praxis goes to stand with the both of you. A supportive lean towards Genevieve and a hefty hand on the shoulder of Callisto. Trying to support the two of you as best as possible. Xavier's gonna come up to you, Callisto. And he's gonna take your hand. Just squeeze it.
He nods.
His rapture goes to the two bodies, kneels next to them, gives both of their faces a gentle caress. 1 year, 1 day, 1 minute. Each of these can feel like a grain of sand slipping through your palm, or an eternity. On this day, in this moment, we take the time to mourn our fallen. Ganymede, Balder, Anatole. In this moment, we mourn a sister and a lover, a father and a friend, a rival and a savior. In this moment, we mourn those you've known, those you've left behind, the lives we leave behind us. Let our mourning not breed sorrow, remorse, or regret. Let our mourning sow the seeds of their rebirth, not through physical life, but through our own, through our memories. Let their seeds become the gardens of hope, that we carry their legacy, and we accept their inheritance, and choose what our legacy will be. In mourning, we decide what the seeds of inheritance might be. This moment, in our mourning, the decision to carry their torch should come swiftly, to rewrite the wrongs written on them, to absolve the sin cast upon them and save others from that sin. We promise today to let them live through us as the heroes they desired us to be. Looking upon Gem, Callisto, and Balder. Not Balder. Krungus. As above, so below. I'm going to say the prayer of the Reaper. This will hopefully allow them to pass wherever they may go safely. That Paulzan will be gracious. Gracious throne of the sky that takes us ever so below. Mortal seasons do not fear the Reaper, nor do the winds or the sun or the rain. He is truly right and just. All our time has come to be such as he is. Gracious Paulzan in the sky, we can be as they were. Your hand will hold mine, take me to your paradise. We do not fear the Reaper. We are just agents of your scythe. My life is warm ever when gone. Gracious Paulzan in the sky, as above, so below. As Rapture finishes, Leshta itself begins to creak. Crystals slowly sprout and grow around the bodies of Anatole and Ganymede, cocooning them in an embrace of beautiful crystal, and pulling them under as to drown in beauty. It's always hard. Bury those you know. I've had to do it. Times to count. There's a reason that they call me the Reaper. Where I go, death is sure to follow. I'm sorry that you are wrapped in it. But let's hope we can save others.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Did it ever stop hurting? This goal?
If you want me to be honest, no. But we learn to live with it. We learn to carry their light and their love and their memory. As long as we have them in our hearts, it hurts a little bit less.
She nods.
We should talk once we get... And he stammers it out a little. Home. I have something I'd like you to see. As for here, there isn't too much more to see. But I'm gonna take a quick second to blow my nose. Getting hard to talk.
Callisto just kind of looks everyone over, and just thanks everyone for being here, for their support, for their love. Gives everyone a genuine thank you if they're accepting of it. Make sure that everyone knows that he does truly, truly love everyone. Despite it all, he loves everyone in this room. And he makes sure that everyone knows it.
For now, sorry.
That's okay. She was just gonna reciprocate and just saying, or rather, follow up and just saying,
It's a lot. You came. This wasn't easy for anyone.
We keep moving. We can't stay idle. She wouldn't want us to be static. We have to be dynamic. For her.
She had too much energy to be static.
We can't let that die with her. We take it now. The only thing we can do.
Mm-hmm.
For now, we should get rest. Some friends have been working on getting our home set up. It's time we went home.
Yeah.
The lavender fields. And as you all make your way out of the burial chamber, a pair of covenants walk by, cradling a young baby, almost called the chamber by some unseen force. The baby looks at Callisto, almost a spitting image of him and Ganymede. And the father seems to whisper, "Don't stare, Ganymede. They're mourning what they come for." And without even fully glancing at you, "Find peace." They walk in. They show the little baby around the burial chamber.
Lista watches, stunned, unsure what to say. This little baby, spitting image of a sister. And he stumbles. And he feels it. He feels it for the first time since he got out of the temple. He feels it now. He feels everything rush in. His knees begin to give out underneath him, and all he can do is go to reach for Genevieve. And unsure of anything else to say, all he manages to spit out, "She's alive." And he falls to his knees and absolutely loses it. He starts screaming, crying into the ground, punching at the soil, punching at the rock, punching at the crystal, unsure of what to do, everything hitting him all at once like a tidal wave. He loses it. All of that composure gone. His parents not even knowing of who he is, but knowing that they still kept that name. She's alive. And it just goes to show that even in her death, she is superior to him in every single way possible. Even in the eyes of the parents that disregarded both of them, she is superior to him. He curls up into the ground and just feels all of that pain, emotional and physical. It all comes all at once. He probably has to be restrained. He just loses all of his composure. To see his face reflected back at him, but not just hers as well. Just on the ground, writhing, crying. muffling his screaming into the ground, hitting his fists. All of that composure gone. Probably Rapture, who probably has to get him up.
Gonna say Praxis was gonna carry him.
This is where he's a mess.
Yeah.
He's not composed anymore. He's got none of it left in him. This is when he fully loses it. Praxis probably just has to swing him over her shoulder.
I was gonna say, like, I don't... Is it the bridal carry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not good.
As you leave, you board onto the Exodus, waving goodbye to Leshta, to a home that wasn't truly home. Off to somewhere that Rapture believes, hopes that you're able to find home in. Sailing for but a couple days, coming to port on Baylor. A sprawling, unseen to this point continent. Beautiful in its light grass, its deserts, in its mountain. You arrive in Sarth, a silent port city, one connected to some knowing of sorts. People see Rapture. They recognize him. They nod to him. He nods back. He walks you through the fields into the forest. Finally, you approach a clearing. As you walk the hidden trail, leaves crunch beneath your feet. Still damp with the remnants of a falling rain, their crackles whispering a gentle message. Welcome home. Sunlight courses through the canopy above you, caressing your face. The care of a lost friend, a sister, a lover. She carries with her bird songs and breezes, whispering a gentle message. Welcome home. She pulls back her glare behind the trees to highlight a lonely cottage, whose paint is chipped from the tears of the storms that laid waste to this house. Other sections bearing newer wood, though no color, barren but preserving. The trees above the cottage cresting and rising to frame the house like a portrait. The lavender and the wisteria wisping through the breeze to bring you their kiss. Rapture slowly places a hand on the handle. Like a lover, it sinks around it like a glove. The old wood door still carved with a gentle phrase. To the house that built me. The creak of the door whispers a gentle greeting, which echoes through the forest. Welcome home. Inside the cottage, sat on two rotting crates are two friends, two stalwart guards, Atlas and Pendrell. They approach you. They embrace you each with the warmth of the sun who caressed you kindly. there's time to talk.
So this is what you meant when you said you had friends, huh, Rapture? That comes back around now, doesn't it?
Atlas steps over to you. Glad to see that you're alive and well. I mean, I heard from Rapture that you were. Sorry.
Okay. I'm glad to see you. Callisto, I mean, he's been spending the boat trip probably, sleeping. He breaks down again, but not in hysterics of anguish or despair, but a bit of hope. He kind of collapses onto Atlas in a big hug. He's getting used to that now, hugging people. I'm glad to see you. You look good.
Well, considering I don't age, it's hard to not look.
I didn't know you two knew each other, and he looks over at Pendrell. He gets the kind of stab in his chest. That anguish starting to seep in again. No.
We're all old friends. Known each other for years. Rapture said he wanted to come home. Been at least a year since he last was home. Two of us decided to come and at least make sure there were no animals living inside. We wanted to welcome you. Pendrell's gonna walk over and touch his forehead to Scrungus's.
It has been some time, old friend.
Yeah, what's it been? Year?
It must be since last we spoke.
I made sure that, I made sure Baldur's body was safe. Came back.
You have my thanks, Pendrell.
And Pendrell holds out a stone-carved little statue of Baldur. I also found this for you. Thought you might like it.
Rungus cradles it in his hands and kind of slowly, carefully as he can. He's still getting accustomed to not applying the full amount of force for everything. Just brings in the stone's warmth to him.
Thank you. I'm glad to see that, in one way or another, his memory continues to live on.
Lives in all of us. I promise you that.
Rungus, again, a smile slowly begins to encroach across his face, warm and familiar. He kind of turns his head towards the doorway wherever Andrew currently is, and hopes to kind of bring his dad in. Once he sees him, he kind of just...
Andrew, come here. Let us enjoy this moment. And reflect. Yeah. That's the word. Reflect. on the year.
Let's reflect. That's the word.
Grungus places the stone carving of Balder probably in a satchel on his person and wraps Andrew and Pendrell in a close, tight embrace.
Lucio, in your bag
I know.
of trinkets, you would have Chiron's cloak.
I know. Callisto probably waits a bit for, Pendrell to come out of the hug and kind of step away just to not intrude on their moment together. But eventually, Callisto will make his way up to Pendrell. He doesn't have the cloak out just yet. He does go up to him. I don't know if we've gotten a proper chance to properly meet.
I think we have. Other than, the little time we spent together in Valdor.
Right,
But that was in the middle of, running for our lives, basically.
Callisto. Got a
Pendrell.
hand.
Pendrell Starslayer.
Takes a deep breath. I know we're just meeting now, but I have some news that you deserve to know.
Chiron's not coming back. Right?
He was a good person.
Great kid.
He now takes out the cloak. There was a card dealt that he didn't control. I'm the only one that made it out alive. But I took a piece of them with me. All of them. Included. Holds the cloak out to Pendrell.
Pendrell takes the cloak, holds it close at first, and then swaps his own with Chiron, packing it away.
Sorry it had to be this way.
I know she would have gone out like a hero. That's what he did, right?
Went
Grungus
down-
places a hand on Andrew's shoulder. No, not Andrew's shoulder, Pendrell's shoulder, rather. As Callisto can finish talking.
Went down valiantly. Your sibling saved mine, actually.
You would be proud of them, Pendrell.
He was always devoted to the sun. We get our name, Starslayer, to go out saving the sun. Poetic, isn't it?
I'm sorry. But as you were for me, I shall be here for you.
Me as well.
Get used to loss. Living in a militia. But you never think it'll hit so close to home. It does. I'm sure you know.
No.
Gonna take a seat for a little bit.
Take your time, old friend.
We're here. Listo also probably goes up to Scrungus and puts a hand on his shoulder too and gives him a nod. Probably doesn't say much, but
Scrungus nods back. lowers his head to Callisto, not quite sure if he's reciprocating of a forehead touch at this moment, but in the event that he wants to,
He will.
it's there.
He will. Make sure that little sun meets his forehead too. Brief moment
There's a
between them.
comfortable moment between the two of them, and he grunts.
We are not alone. We never will be.
Never. Also gives a look to Andrew as well, nodding at him. Atlas behind him. We're in good company. The best company I know.
She would be proud, Callisto.
Thank you.
As you stand, the kitchen, the living room, the dining room all mesh together, cacophony of clutter. Toys still sat on the rug untouched, grooves in the crates and couches persist, undaunted by the absence of table still sits, set for a meal that was never ate, ready for a family. Eat once.
Callisto probably wanders the house a bit, making sure not to intrude too much, but just getting a sense of this kitchen, this living room, the dining room, the life it once held, and just seeing what's left of it. Taking note of the little details. There's a lot to look at, if I know Rapture's house. Taking it all in for a second. Kind of standoffish. Just getting his moment alone. Wandering a bit.
Anyone else can look at anything that they want in this living room.
Genevieve has entered the house, but she has not moved from her spot. She's just kind of looking at everything with wide eyes, and it's almost like her legs won't let her move in any further with the doorway. She just kind of watches.
Torlath, as you and Xavier wander the back halls, you notice that this part of the building, it's newer. It's not lived in, per se, though. There's clutter, there's construction materials, there's plans everywhere, but no rhyme or reason to it. Pass by a little room, the only room that looks lived in right now. In it, there's a humble table, a chest, a slept-in bed, and papers. Amongst those papers, poetry, portraits, love notes. What remains? This is the only part of the house that you've seen so far that looks like it's been recently lived in. Rapture's gonna make his way over, having seen you walk that way. and is just gonna stand in the door frame.
You living in here?
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't bring myself to go back to our room yet. I ran away after it happened. And then I realized I couldn't stay away. And when I came back, these empty walls, the empty halls, I thought that if I could build it, thought if I built it up, it would bring them back. That maybe it would bring Daya back. Bring the kids back. But I couldn't bring myself to fill it. I've been left with an empty shell of a home. My hope is that we can turn this shell of a house into a home.
As do I. I never really had a home. I would never call the coterie my own home. I could barely call the boat a home. Maybe it's time to belong.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Back where I grew up, I wasn't the favorite. I was thought to be an omen. See, my family, when you're born with an element, you get markings. They thought I was demon marked. But it turns out that I was blessed. Holozan blessed me. They didn't see that. I'm sure you've had similar troubles.
Very similar. Except there was someone who didn't think I was blessed. And wronged me, to put it in simple terms. I guess that maybe they were wrong all this time, or if they were right. I never could have told myself either.
I think that blessing or curse doesn't determine who you are. Mine didn't determine who I was. I got to determine who I am. Ken too. So, you said there were wrongs against you?
Yes.
You want to rewrite those wrongs? He holds out a hand to you.
Corleth takes it. I do.
Well then, kid. You're gonna fit in great here. We got a lot of things to fix in this world. We're not going out till we fix them.
Corleth nods at hugs Rapture.
Rapture hugs you back tightly. It's safe. This was always... This is... will be safe here. You'll be safe.
I trust you.
And Rapture is tearing up. Thank you. Means a lot.
It means a lot to have someone to trust.
Well, you want a tour of the house?
Yes.
Rapture brings you back to the living area with everyone else. Nose blow. Xavier, you coming? Rapture, with those who follow in tow, continues through the house, almost like a ghost in its past. He approaches a bedroom. A king bed sits undisturbed and dustless. Half made and half undone, calling home those you've known. A map with letters sit on the table. Letters from Balder, Magdalene, Calpurnico, even Andrew. An itinerary lay on the world map, unexplored and water-stained, tear-soaked map. In a small annex sits a statue to Polizan, with a portrait sat beside it. The bricks that lay in front, well worn and curved from days of prayer, a testament to a life lived and one passed by. This is our room. Nice room. It's been hard to come in here. I still dust the room. I still keep it clean, just like he liked.
Sure, he appreciates that.
He's still here somewhere. He'll come a knocking.
I'm sorry.
Mine was years ago, and it's not your fault. You should never feel like it's your fault. You didn't take them from me. Mathandi did. You were a child. And as Praxis and Anali in tow, Praxis whispers what every room looks like to her, so that even though she can't see, she can still feel what the room looks like.
Lucio takes note of the letters from Balder and Calpurnico and Magdalene and all of them on the desk. Doesn't read them, but more so flips through them as if they're pieces of history. Lays them gentle where they are. Tries not to disturb them further.
Rapture goes over to the desk and sifts through the letters, finding a short letter and bringing it to Scrungus. Balder wrote me this. He wrote me this the day that he found you.
Oh,
And you can see he kind of hesitates before he continues to speak.
I would like to read it.
Yeah. Whenever he wrote to me, he would talk about how proud he was. You're making him proud still. He hands you the letter.
Scrungus takes the letter from Rapture, slow, steady hands, holding it like it's a baby, with just how gentle it is. It's fairly clear to anyone that while he's having a bit of a tougher time making it through the contents of the letter, not only because he's not exactly adept at reading, but just because this is a lot to him in this moment. He stops about a minute or so through. He's barely even gotten through the first sentence.
It is like I have said before. I swore an oath. Everything I do in his memory. Everything I do, I'm doing it.
And you can see he begins moving the letter down towards his satchel.
I'm doing it for him.
And you can see he gently pounds his chest.
For Balder.
I hope you know everything he did for you.
Thank you.
Rapture put on your shoulder. Can we go upstairs? Oh wait, sorry. Yeah?
Would he be proud of...
And you can see he initially tries to sound out the word me, but he can't, and it comes out as...
Would he be proud of Scrungus?
And you can see he's a little shaky right now.
He would
Balder be proud of Scrungus?
He was always proud of you. Was never gonna change. It's like Andrew. They're both proud of you. The boy you were and the man you are today. You carry his legacy like you were always meant to.
Scrungus kind of wipes at his eye. No tears, but you can see he's taking a bit to process this.
Me? No. Thank you.
And he starts to turn around and just heads back over to Andrew and Pendrell. And just kind of wraps his arms around the two of them again, just kind of leaning his head in between them. You can see the arm that he has wrapped around Andrew as of this moment in time is a little tighter than the first one that he had when he first reunited with Pendrell.
Rapture brings the rest of the group upstairs. Are you going upstairs?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I'll be tagging along. I just wanted to do that. He comes back in
Yeah.
a minute's time.
Ready for this? This is cool. Hold on. Ready? Yeah.
Very good job, Jer.
Second floor. As you climb the stairs, each step almost greets you. In its cracks and creaks, they whisper the solemn phrase, "Welcome home." In front of you, on this floor, stands the floor unfinished. Its walls holding windows into a room built around it, into a shell that holds what once was. Beds are strewn about, ready for those who would yet live here, each welcoming you, calling you to a comfort trap, begging for walls, for art, family. Sorry about the mess up here. I was eventually gonna build rooms for the kids. They only have that one room. But, life has its ways. But I'll build you rooms. Like I was gonna build them. I think I had a bit too many beds. I wanted this to last. I wanted the generation to find home.
So we'll wander through, taking note of everything. Thanks, Jer. There's something like, I don't know, there's something very endearing to Callisto about even just the clutter, the amount of, stuff that, even though it hasn't been lived in, that it represents a life to be fulfilled. It's almost as if he has been here before, a sense of deja vu almost. It's cozy. It's not lived in, but it's meant to be lived in. Just wanders through and takes it all in, but doesn't quite step into the next room just yet, but glances in just to see what remains of what Rapture calls his children's room. Kind of ambling about, taking it all in.
If anybody wants to move anything around, it's static, but in essence, you can move things around through the clutter.
Lucio doesn't move anything just yet. Probably grazes his fingertips across things, but doesn't move anything.
Gem has been following, but has noticeably been picking like a corner and sticking to it each time they go to a different room, and even now she's just anxiously sitting in the corner, or not sitting, but standing in the corner, sort of watching the scene. Looks almost like a fish out of water.
Callisto is gonna round the corner and go into the room, but looks kind of cautiously at Rapture as he does.
With you, Rapture makes his final approach. Into a bedroom, untouched by time. Letters on the floors, poems, pictures, stories of great heroes and greater heroes yet to come. The walls etched with the art of young hands, a testament to the lives lived, the lives lost by time. Bunk beds sit in the corner of the room, each less folded than the last, calling their occupants home once more, looking at their comfort traps. Xavier is going to go up to the letters and read one and laugh, look back at Rapture, shake his head, put the letter in his pocket.
Callisto looks at Rapture. Mathandi didn't... Did he...
No. This was a mistake of my own making. One I will always regret. They needed me. But I couldn't be a father. I couldn't be a friend or anything to them in the wake of destruction. I left them Starth. I left them with good people, but whenever I tried to visit them again, find them. They're out there somewhere. Come home one day.
Thoughts? Kind of like as he was. Goes through, brushes his hands on things, but doesn't move anything out of place. Taking everything in, looking at, the art and the poetry, the letters, the things thrown about. Doesn't want to touch anything more than it needs to be. Have a beautiful home, Rapture.
We built it together. Dia and I. But really, like we said on the door, it's the house that built us. In a way, whatever we built the house, we built ourselves. As I was saying to Torleth earlier, that's why there's so much empty space. I told him, tell you, I built to bring him home. Die home. The kids. But all I got was a shell. I hope you find something.
I know this house built you. Maybe it can't build us, but it can rebuild. Doing. Been adding, been rebuilding, and I think we need to do the same. Thank you for inviting us into your home. It's beautiful.
Take your time and explore. If you want, there's a basement. It's, a bunker. I built it out of fear. Out of longing. But it's there nonetheless.
I'd like to see it.
And Rapture walks over to Genevieve. When you're ready, come find me. Just follow the way that the wind blows. Rapture walks through and out of the house. And leaves you to explore for now.
Callisto's gonna go to the basement.
Oh, there we go.
Hello.
Sorry. Mic was funky. I thought it was fine. She's actually gonna follow right behind him, as he walks.
Okay.
She doesn't wait.
Pop you here. Copy you. There for now. Anybody have any business up here first? Torla?
I think it's at this point in time.
Fungus?
Scrungus probably just takes a seat on one of the beds and does his best to sound out the letter that he was given to by Rapture.
Praxis is actually gonna help you out with and bring Anali with her. You doing anything, Torlath?
He's just following Xavier around.
Okay.
Seeing what he's doing.
Let's go to the basement.
Yeah.
Everybody is here by accident. Oops. Callisto, you walk down into the basement and it's barren for the most part, but there's a bed laid about. As you walk down these halls, cold stone beneath you, you peer into the rooms and there's large symbols etched into the floor, living with magic. Though their origins are difficult to decipher. Their purpose is lost on you. And magical circle, but in this room you step into, and it appears to be what was the start of an armory. There's clutter, building materials, and weapons being prepped for something. So, seemingly abandoned after a time.
Taking note of everything. Goes. Again, not touching much, only if to graze his hands long. What do you see?
More beds, more materials. Looks as if Rapture was prepping down here. Again, undiscernible what. Stepping into the large room, that circle. There is a book. Reading it, you're able to discern that the book attempts to teach you how to contact a place called the Forgotten. Speak with those departed.
This is the only thing he touches.
This circle is depicted as a means to speak.
He actually moves the book, taking it into his hands as he steps back into the circle, reading it as thoroughly as he can. He loses his composure a little bit again, and he does what the book tells him to do, as much as he can. He gets desperate in this moment. Anything he can do, he follows it. All of his morality goes out the window right now. He takes it and he reads it and he does he does what it tells him to do.
You're attempting to reach Ganymede?
Yes.
There's no response.
Is there anyone he can meet? Press for Taylonsta. Balder.
No.
Anatole.
You're a whisper in the back of your mind. Unclear. Distorted.
Please, please. It's Callisto. Please.
Oh,
Anatole.
well,
Come on, buddy. You got this. Where are you? Please.
and for a faint moment, you see the image in the back of your head. You see Anatole moments before death, smiling at you as if it's the happiest moment that he's ever had, even though it was his last.
Sorry.
The visage shambles to you gently, clasps your hands, though you can't feel it. Blink, and it dissipates.
No, please don't go. Please. Please come back, please. But he doesn't.
He doesn't.
He tries for Chiron, he tries for Savitar, he tries for Cyrus and all of those solar children. He tries to get them all. Whatever he can, he tries to get. Even just for seconds, it's better than nothing. And he can only discern that they're somewhere else. That Ganymede and Balder and Talonstar are somewhere else than where they ended up. He gets whatever he can. He tries to get every person he thinks that he's lost. Probably only gets them for a second before they go. But it's enough closure for now.
You at least get flickers. You see them all at different ages, different moments, plucked out of time, at what you can only assume is their happiest moment alive on Valstrana.
A thought comes to him. He thinks for a moment that maybe he can reach someone he's never met. But then he doesn't do it. He closes the book. And he debates it. But he ends up putting it back where it came from. That maybe this is not something for him to meddle with. That Rapture has the scythe and he doesn't.
Out
At
of
least
the book
for now.
falls a note, seemingly a diary. Detailing following. Built this damn circle. I read the damn book. Why can't I do it? I want to talk to him one last time. But I can't bring myself to do it. Would he be ashamed of me? One day I'll face them. One day we'll be happy. And that's the end of the entry.
Lucio slides the note back into the book from where he guessed what pages it was between. Shuts the book and leaves it where it was. And quickly walks out of the room. He wants to feel like he got closure, but truth be told, he doesn't. He's left with more questions than answers. And even just seeing Anatole for just a second, and all of those faces that he barely even got to know. Closure for a second, and then anguish once more. Does a little last look around. Bit more panicked, bit more paced. Time. He starts to feel a bit of a guilt that he's meddling in affairs that aren't for him to meddle. Once he feels like he's seen everything that there is to see, he makes his way out of the basement.
And I head to Gem.
Alright. Where is she? There she is.
Are you on here as well? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You walk down another hidden trail. Sat before you is a beautiful wisteria tree, with fields of lavender all around, its petals gracing the ground. Rapture, in a trance before you, is kneeling and just talking. Yeah. There's life in the wall. First time since you were gone. It's not a shell. I feel like I'm not a shell. I don't know. I feel hopeful. I think this is a chance to make things right. Clean up my mess. Do something worthwhile for the first time in years. Besides just run and hide. These kids, they're like me. They're broken, they're beaten, they've lost so much. I hope that they can heal.
Aviv at that point had sat down, letting Rapture finish his talk, just waiting. Legs crossed, hands newly formed, since she's had a few days since they broke, just resting. She doesn't want to interrupt.
You see on the tree, there's a heart carved in it. With the letters R and F and D. There's a cross. Moved to Earth. Rapture sits in front of it. Hand to the ground. When he talks. This, he looks at you. This is where they are. This is where Daya is. This is our tree. This is the lavender fields.
It's beautiful. All of it. I'm sorry. I've probably seemed so rude, just being silent, but she would have left it here.
You're not rude. I spent so many years silent. And you, in this week, you buried a lover. I've had to do the same. We came here not long after Daya got hurt. We started to build. We found this tree. We carved our names in it. And the branches bent for us. Gave us, I don't know, hope. These fields, these lavender, the wisteria. It's been years. And even if I haven't upkept them, they still thrive. They live on without any outside help. That's why we called this the Lavender Fields. Why we called it home.
I think it's the most perfect place I've ever seen. Truly. And that makes me wonder if I belong here. This almost feels like a happy ending, and everything always seems to go sour. I don't know if I belong. Especially not without her.
Well, I have a question for you. Do you want to belong?
Thinks for a minute. Hugs her knees and nods. More than anything, I haven't ever belonged.
Well then, I've got some news for you, kid. This place isn't about happy endings. It's not about perfect people. It's about the knockdown dragouts, the outcasts, the exiles. We ran away from our home. We weren't perfect. I'm not perfect. What matters is that you want to belong, that you want to live, that you want more life. The first time over a decade, I think I want more life too. What about you?
I've spent the past 11 years of my life wanting more. I come from a house that I was never fit for. That I later found out was never my home anyway. To a boat where my only comfort was two people, to a circus where I was made to conform and perform, and then dragged back to that boat again. Oh. And now I'm here. And there are walls, there are trees, but I'm gonna call this place home, and for the first time in 11 years, maybe even my entire life, I don't feel like I'm caged. I could run. I could breathe. And sure, there's this hole in my chest. But if you have room for a broken little circus freak, I would really appreciate a place in your home.
Until today, like I said, for a decade or more, this place hasn't been home. It's been a house, it's been a shell. I put it on to block out the world, hide, to run something. But today becomes home again. We don't run away, we run towards their memories. Towards who they want us to be. Who we can be. As Daya would be proud of me for what I've come to today. I can tell you that Ganymede would be proud of you. And as Rapture finishes his words to you, and the sun begins to get lower in the sky and crawl its way through the wisteria, you almost feel for a second a hand on your cheek. Sunlight itself.
takes a step forward to Rapture. I don't know you well enough yet to hug you, but she holds out her hand. I think this is a good place to start.
Well, we got some getting to know to do. Truth be told, I don't always know myself the best. So, Jake?
Take Genevieve Amberstone. I'm happy to be here. And I mean that without any doubt in my mind.
Rapture. Man I was. Man that die anew. He died 10 years ago. 11, whatever the number is. And I was born. Rapture. I'm still learning. Just like you. How to live out the other half. Perhaps we can teach each other.
I like the sound of that.
We should start by getting some rest. The sun will go down soon. We should say goodbye to Pendrell and Atlas before they have to get back.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Rapture's gonna offer you his hand if you want to hold it on the walk back.
He does. It's a bit sharp now. Not smooth like it used to be. It's jagged and made of the same crystal that makes up her horns, but her touch is as gentle as ever. But she holds on tight enough where she knows they won't let go.
The two head back. Sun sets and the stars rise. To the house. No longer a shell. A home. Alive again. As you're all gathered in the kitchen, Rapture prepping food with the help of Andrew and Atlas. Breathe life into the home. And it's safe. Any last bits from anyone else?
Callisto probably just chats up Atlas a bit. Nothing of substance that's needed to be role played out, but he makes his rounds to everyone and just keeps coming back to Atlas. Making sure he's good.
I've walked the world for a long time. Life has given me its share. And I'm sure it will continue to. But it's good to see him happy again.
He's a good man. It's like you.
You may not think it of yourself. You are as well.
Stu kind of just looks at the floor. Nods, but doesn't say anything at that.
And it can be hard to hear. You don't want to hear it. But I've known bad people. I've worked for bad people. I've been tortured by bad people. You may think you're bad, that what you do, what you've done, may make you a villain. At our lowest moment, we act out of instinct and rage. And Atlas looks down at Neon, which he's carrying. These moments don't define us. Sure, you've heard the speech. You define yourself.
I think Rapture still has some things that he should teach me.
And he will.
I really want to hear more from him.
I am centuries old. I still learn from him every day.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Can you make me a promise?
As best I can.
This isn't gonna be the last time we see each other.
Oh, it won't be. As long as you are alive, I will live too.
I expect a long life out of you.
I say I got a few thousand years, maybe, in me.
Maybe.
Or at least
Maybe.
300.
I'm looking at more like 40. So, in that time that we have blessed together, I better see you more than once.
Well, I'll be around.
Don't be a stranger.
You know, when Phallus and I first fell here, between figuring out what to do before we ended up in the rain, we stayed with Rapture and Gaia and the kids once. Didn't even know us. We were lost in the woods. They took us in. That shows the man that he is. And I know that you'll live up to be more than half that man. Maybe even double that man. And clasps your shoulder. Keep your head high. And look to the sun. He's up there.
Got some work to do.
Be her hero.
I will. And he leaves Atlas to it. Makes the rounds on everyone else, just to make sure everyone's okay. At some point in the night, he probably does go outside just by himself to get a glimpse of the lavender fields in the moonlight. That even though he's starting to hate the moon, there's something still beautiful about it. How it illuminates the fields. How the lavender doesn't go to sleep. How it only continues to live. How it doesn't die. He sits outside for a bit. The cool night breeze probably hitting him. Sinks it in. And makes sure that his entire body, soul, and mind know that this is home now. A moment of reprieve, away from everything. And he'll keep doing this. Probably several nights in a row. Keeps going. He just takes it all in. More life.
Or anything from anybody else. I'll make sure anybody who wants something gets a chance before we close out.
I'm all good here.
Lynn, Lucio,
Yeah.
either of you?
Good.
I'm good. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Then like pick me up.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out today. We're going to be rating an artist named Pan, who probably isn't working on Jasper's commissions right now, but there's a chance. There's a chance you could see some Cavian Cycle characters.
Perhaps. Pan is an artist that I really love, who I commission to do my work all the time. Actually, in the Discord server after this stream, I will post some of the art that Pan has done for me. He's drawn Callisto and Baird before. I absolutely love his work. So please go check out Pan. Say hi. He probably knows my name, so you can say that Jasper sent you. But thank you for joining us for tonight. We will be back next week, same time, same place, same channel, with a new arc. Do we get to say, who is next?
Well, remember how Callisto was looking at the moon?
Wow, it's almost like it's a, wow.
DC!
Wow.
Fuck Cece, she's going in the garbage. We don't leave the happy little house.
We don't leave the happy house!
We don't leave the happy house. I don't wanna.
Well, we'll be back in this house soon enough. We hope you guys enjoyed. This was a labor of love, and we hope that you can recognize that. Go show that love to Pan, and we will see you next week. Have a good night, everyone.
I cried a minimum of 5
the
times.
whole session.
Actually, the whole session.
The whole session.
I've been sobbing.
Right.
Go say hi to Pan.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.